My name is Ibrahim Asori Balde. Good morning to each and every person watching QTV this morning. Wherever you're watching us from, we're back again, and in the studios I'm with Mr. Momodu Mboj and Mr. Malika, our newspaper review guest. Mr. Mboj, it's the co-host today on this program. Supposed to be Julde, but different. She's busy on another thing, official engagement. So now I have Mr. Mboj here. Mr. Mboj, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Bala. Yes, unusual position for me, isn't it?
That's
so
why
I'm going to have to get to to get used to it.
Yes.
Yeah. So
exactly.
We're ready to go. I've been watching you guys over the months, at least if not years. So I think I've learned a trick or two from about how to do these things.
Yes. So here at QTV, we multitask. We, we do different things. We try different things. So that's why most of the time, most of the things we, give to the public comes out good and perfect all the time. Yeah. So Mr. Ka, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Balde. I thought your name is Ibrahim Weltare, but you said sorry, Balde. So anyway,
that's another
I'll
cap.
take it. So that's another cap. Anyway, it's a pleasure to join you and Mr. Mboj for the usual discussion, and engage the public as always. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, on the program we'll be taking a look at the African proverb. Then we'll be going through the newspapers. I'm seeing quite interesting headlines already. And like I said, Mr. Malika will be our newspaper review guest, and we'll talk on Tobaski. We have few days to Tobaski, and at this time, nuñ ko dé waxé embouteillage gi dama ka ñëw bi bari na. So we'll be talking to Ustaz Abubakar Jallow, Ngenali Tobaski. So he will be here on the program. I mean, at least to enlighten us what are the do's and don'ts on Tobaski. We will also talk to Momodu Gajaga and Amadou Tamba on the Gambia-Gabon game. It was unfortunate we lost the game, but the boys played very well yesterday. And it's unfortunate, one or two reasons, that's why we lost it. So we'll start with the African code, and I'll give Mr. Mboj the honor to read it out for us.
Yes. I've got here, the poor man's boat always sinks. He gets his fish by begging. Swahili.
For me, that's about mindset.
Really?
It's best to learn how to fish rather than to depend on being given fish to survive for the day. So if you have a poor mindset, you don't put in the effort. You don't work hard. You rather take the lazy or that lackadaisical attitude of sitting back and depending. So that dependency syndrome is what it is trying to capture, that people should put in, you have to put in the seeds to expect the crops to grow. If you don't put in the seeds on the soil and then water it, there will be no crops. So the only route left is for you to depend on other people or to beg. So that is my understanding.
Well, he always gets his fish by begging. Begging become sort of a routine for the poor man. At some point, he is not open to, new things. He is not open to things. He is not open to ideas that will empower him so as to be able to catch his own fish. You understand? Is that even not, kind of a sickness at some point, should I call it? You get used to a particular situation to an extent, you cannot even extinguish yourself from it.
To extricate yourself from it. Perhaps I wouldn't call it a sickness. I'll call it perhaps a condition. You find yourself in certain conditions. For me, I sort of try to play here a bit of the philosopher. Why does the poor man's boat always sink? Is it true that the poor man's boat always sinks? You know what I mean? And I do not know. Of course, we realize that the poor man faces so many difficult situations, so many challenges potentially. But again, haven't we seen sort of poor people come out of the situation as well.
For me, poverty in this context, I'm not thinking of monetary poverty.
All right.
I think
The
it's
whole
broader and more
resources.
philosophical. You can be full of resources and yet you are poor in the mind. So it's the mindset that drives, you know, the person, the ambition and the person. It's not so much about what you have. You can find people whose conditions are really poor in material terms, but they put in a lot of effort and hard work to realize things. So for me, that is the whole conjecture.
The poor mindset.
Kind of, yeah.
Well,
That drags you, that holds you back, that doesn't let you move, because it's not so much material poverty, but it's the mind. You can face certain situations and conditions where you don't have certain things, but you put in the effort to get out of that situation. And that effort is what makes you different from the other guy that will resign to fate or resign to that type of destiny because he or she does not look for a solution to get out of
exactly.
that
Well, it tells you how powerful the mind is. You know, we always talk about the mind on this program. I mean, how powerful your mind can change things, you understand? You can be very small, you can be powerless, but you might have a great mind, a mind that can enable you to change. That's why you can see people in, you know, situations make big difference, and people start asking questions. How did he make it? I mean, because of the mind. You understand? So the mind is very important in this instance, Mr. Carr. It's telling you you can make changes. You don't only have to depend on you know, one thing, but you can still try other things as well. I mean, for you to, you know, better your situation.
I mean, it's the secret of the human being in the end, isn't it? When you look at life, look at all these massive, huge animals and all the rest of it, but the control we have over it, and given our size, we don't have huge teeth or, you know, fingernails, but this is it. It's the mind that makes a difference in the end.
You have certain people that are physically challenged, but the things that they do and they achieve, there are people with everything in terms of their limbs and organs intact, but they cannot do it. They cannot even compare to them. That goes to show that the human being does transcend difficulties and challenges by virtue of his or her, you know, determination and mindset. So the mind is very important in terms of defining the character of the person.
Well, we've seen situations where, as we're talking about the poor man, you know, where people were born in certain situations, but I mean, they changed the situations that their previous generation was living in. I mean, we've seen situations where I will tell you, these people at some point they were the people that, I mean, don't involve in certain things because of their condition, but now their situations has changed drastically, you know, because of the minds and, you know, being ready to change your situation.
Absolutely, and realizing that my beginnings, if you like, do not really determine my destiny. You know what I mean? So, because there are so many things in between in life that could change, that could make us go in so many different directions. So that is why I object to certain fatalism. You know, if God wills it, it will be that kind of talk, because it takes away your agency. And really your individual autonomy, individual agency makes a whole lot of difference to really how you handle things. You know, you are going to face all sorts of difficulties in life, all sorts of challenges, but because of different people, the mental resources we have in handling different situations, adapting to them, that will make the difference.
There is
in
a
the
very
end.
famous saying, no condition is permanent.
This is it, yeah.
But you have to get up and change your condition.
Absolutely. Right.
You know, so it's important.
So the poverty have to be extended. It's not like what defines what is poverty. You know, if you go into that realm of philosophy, then you begin to understand that the mind is what defines you. You can be defined as poor, you know, materially, and somebody else, you have a lot in terms of material, but you are still poor. The other guys will see you as such. So the poverty that we're talking about transcends material. It's beyond that. So it's the human capacity or the ability to transcend and transform the circumstances into a better situation. If you look at human beings in the journey of evolution, we faced a lot of challenges, but we had to transform the conditions by mastering and dominating nature, controlling things. And by doing that, we are able to harness the forces of nature and use them, you know, to the extent that we are dominant, like we just pointed out. We control fire, we control the winds, we control a lot of forces in the nature. And that is by virtue of our thinking, our thoughts, and our philosophical outlook. That is mine.
But a fantastic idea, because this sort of just moves the discussion a bit in the sense that, you see, that control, that dominance that really we had, as it were, especially from the Industrial Revolution on, we couldn't see the damage it was doing. Now we are facing climate change, the cost.
Yeah,
it was the cost of that improvement, that gearing up, yet
but still with our resilience and scientific know-how, it's just a matter of time. But we humans, we have always been able to look at things and then address them and find solutions. That is not to say that, yes, we are faced with dire situations when it comes to the environment, but there are solutions. They are being looked into. Now, if you look now, we are looking at fossil fuels. How do we migrate from
do away with them,
or how do we wean off ourselves? And now if you go to Europe, you find most of the vehicles now are no longer using
electric.
Not most, but many now. It's changing. I think 2030, 2040, some countries will stop producing, you know, fossil fuel vehicles. They are electronic. So human beings, we always have that capacity or ability to transcend and transform things. We're looking into space and all. Who knows in about 1,000, 2,000 years' time what the human, you know,
can do.
Situation is.
Yes. Maybe what I was pointing to is just sort of use power wisely.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We can do wonderful things, but again, we can do genocides.
Exactly.
So
yes,
we
but
are a mixture of all sorts of things.
It's all about the mind. It's all about how powerful the human being's mind is.
Very complex and complicated humans.
Very complex.
We have been given faculties, the mind. That is the tool that we have, and that gives us edge over, above all other.
And, you know, interestingly, with, you know, the recent scientific discoveries, the recent, you know, one or two things doing this. I mean, you mentioned space. There was a time I saw a write-up somewhere, they said there can be life in Mars. You know, all those discoveries are very interesting. It's telling you how the human being can do big things.
Yeah, we moved from America to here. It takes few hours now. You just fly. So, you know, just if you go about 5,000 years back, you bring your great-great-great-grandfathers and show them these things, you know.
When you used to walk from
now electricity
from Africa to Mecca, now you do that in hours.
Yeah, so
you know. So interesting. Now we'll take a short break. After the break, then we'll take a look at the stories from the newspapers. We'll be right back after the break.
Qcell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. Qcell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. Qcell, Sinubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Never before in the Gambia, Qcell is giving you an unbeatable offer. Activate our 5G network on your 5G enabled phone and enjoy free internet for 7 days. Yes, you heard that right. Activate Qcell's 5G on your phone and experience what true 5G internet feels like. Get your Qcell SIM cards activated today at the following care centers: Banjul, Senegambia, Brikama, Bursubi Turntable, Bakau, Airport, and Kairaba Avenue headquarters. Rush now and be part of the future with Qcell's 5G. Free internet for 7 days only with Qcell. For more information, call Qcell Customer Care on 111. Qcell Sinubus. We innovate. Orders follow. Terms and conditions apply. Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
You're watching QTV this morning. Now, welcome back after that break. The program continues. Let's take a look at stories on the Fourier newspaper. And let's start with agriculture. I mean, we are in the rainy season almost, and we are expecting rains one of these days. Other parts of the Gambia, they've received 1, 2, or 3 times rain this year. So the government fertilizer price pegged at 1,100 this year. I'm seeing the agriculture minister here, and at the same time, on another headline too, Agri Department received 250 metric tons of rice, maize seeds for farmers. You know, so it's like they are keen in improving the farming sector of the Gambia. I mean, most of the time, we survive on farm produce in the Gambia, you know, and also sell so that our livelihood can be easy. We've seen the pegging of fertilizer to $1,100 per bag, and the agri minister on the headline.
Well, that's a very good incentive if it is that competitive, because agriculture is the backbone of the economy. You hear that cliche all the time. So therefore, you know, to make a difference, I think fertilizer is important. So the affordability is very important for the farmers so that they can use it, and then we'll have a big yield and good produce. I mean, if you look at our neighbors this year, they've gone more radical. Senegal, I think, have reduced the cost of fertilizer. They subsidize it to up to 50%. I don't know what the comparative prices are, but that is what is being talked about, that they have slashed it to about 50%. So that competitive aspect is important. Government must have to assist and enable the farmers with the necessary things. You mentioned also seeds and seedlings. That also is important. So they provide them. I think they are focused also in terms of ensuring that, you know, the agricultural sector is progressing and developing, because without food sovereignty, a country cannot progress in this day and age, because the bill of, you know, buying produce from outside is so substantial. And remember, we depend on foreign exchange to buy some of these things, and sometimes the dollar is just skyrocketing, and then that creates that imbalance, that trade imbalance, and then consequently impact on prices and impact on the lives of the ordinary people. So it's important they emphasize on agriculture and the produce of agriculture in order to ensure that the economy is buoyant and people are faring well.
Well, focusing on agriculture and producing certain things for the farmers to make it very easy for them, you know, plays a very important role. You know, do not underestimate, you know, the volume of production that we do in the Gambia, from the greater Banjul area going straight to the rural area. It's very important, because at the end of time, it benefits the country a big deal.
But you got to realize that what we produce and really what we import, the difference is huge. And let's be just clear about that. But that's what we want to change, isn't it? We want to reverse that. That's the longer term plan. Regarding this fertilizer, for me the question will be, I wonder, what do farmers think about the price? Is it judging it from here? I'm not sure. You know what I mean? I'm not in the field. I wonder what they think about the price. We remember every year for the past few years, there'll be some haggling here and there about how much is it expensive, what is government going to do. Government's been trying, I mean, since COVID, really, subsidizing a lot of things. But we do hear sometimes our Minister of Finance tell us the governments don't like subsidizing too much. It's got to stop at some point. We've seen the problems it's causing right now in Nigeria when they stop the subsidies with fuel. So government shouldn't really be subsidizing too much with stuff like that. So this is the issue we have. And we know that, for instance, with the price of fertilizer, there are so many factors when you look around the world now. We've seen since COVID, really, things like that, they've just shut up the prices of all of that. So we are just so dependent on external circumstances, external factors. So, you know, when we talk about these things, we should put it within the context, you know. So government will try to do the best possible given the circumstances, even though that would mean sometimes it might hurt me, the citizen, a little bit. But this is
But you have, yes, at some point, you know, government also, like you said, they try adjusting to make sure they empower and support. At the end of the time, it's their call. At some point, they have to support, they have to empower. You know, most of the time, farmers will complain about the prices of the fertilizer, you know, but they have to also picture at some point the exchange rate sometimes can, fluctuate at some point. You know, I can remember there was a time a bag of fertilizer 750 few years back, and now it's $1,100. So people might not understand what is happening on the background, but the fluctuation of prices also can, determine that as well.
Yeah, but people need not understand. That is why government is there to take fiscal policies in order to ensure that there is stability of all those things. But nonetheless, the effort have to be recognized and accepted that they are putting in some effort to provide the farmers with the necessary things.
Yes, okay, let's move to the next headline. Police Command meet Brikama Area Council amid Operation Clear the Road saga. So,
well, you have seen negotiations. I mean, Brikama Area Council did put their foot down and say, hell no, we are not accepting that these people come and just destroy and do whatever they want to do. They also argue that they are doing it within the remit of the law, that they've been empowered to do that. So they had to sit down and negotiate. So it shows that people sometimes, when they ask and demand, negotiations have to take place in order for solutions. So it's important that, people demand in a democratic setting. Demanding is not a crime. It's important. It's important that people ask, and then sometimes they get what they ask or what they want. So Brikama Area Council, we hope they will do all these things in an atmosphere of peace and law, and then everything resolved. So,
well, it's good that you mentioned,
When we spoke to Mr. Kante yesterday, he was quite clear. He was articulate and really what the issues are.
Who is Mr. Kante?
Brikama Area Council, one of the councillors, isn't it? Yes.
He was on this morning.
He was on this morning. They said they supported the whole thing that NRA is doing, absolutely. But by going to the market, they had gone beyond their remit.
Okay.
That was really,
according to him, it's Operation
argument.
Clear the road, not clear the market.
That sort of thing.
Okay.
That's it. So, but this is it. When you enter negotiations with good faith and you apply your reason, 6, 7 times out of 10, you would agree on what to do next. I think that was really what happened here in the end, because we mentioned that there's something about this task force. They've been sort of quite harsh. You listen to Mr. Mane, the way he's been going about it. Sometimes I have to say, oh, come on, authority need not be authoritarian. You need not be harsh, you know what I mean, to carry authority. And this is a wonderful thing that now they are talking. Perhaps they will set the tone that let's go a bit down on the punitive language and go to the other side and try to agree a scheme on people, because we have the law. As Roosevelt used to say, carry a big stick but speak softly.
Yes.
Yeah, but for me,
must be tempered.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
For me, I think this is it's also another test for our democracy. At some point, citizens can also stand up to their rights and tell you, okay, no, why not if you do this? It's affecting us at the end of the time. So I think that's a very important one as well. But I hope and pray they resolve everything in peace, because at the end of the time, it's one country, one nation.
It's always give and take. The people, you must also take into consideration that This is their livelihood. This is where most of these women depend on what they take home in order to take care of school fees and other, aspects, food and everything. So if you're going to do it, approach it in a way that, like we pointed out, that, is civil, is understanding, and then, it's something that you do within the remit of, negotiations, not just use of force.
Okay. The Foraya newspaper is asking, does Operation Clean the Streets include the drains?
Very important question.
Very significant question.
The rainy season. If the drains are clogged, that is part of the problem that causes floods. So I've seen them started cleaning the big gutters around Manjai, but I think more work ought to be done because that's the ring that allows, most of the water empties there, so that it can go easily and empty into the river or into the sea. So it's important that the drains are taken into factor. And people also that throw garbage and things into the drains, they also ought to take or assume responsibility. Because the citizen, in as much as you ask, you also have duties and responsibilities bear upon you. You don't have to throw everything in the gutters and clog them, and later the compounds and homes are flooded and you start complaining. So you cannot have your cake and eat it. You cannot win-win. You have to also assume your responsibilities as a citizen, and so you do the right thing in order to assist. Government has a responsibility and a duty also, because they are trustees of public funds. They have to ensure that they do that. The councils also have bylaws that govern them, so they also discharge their responsibility. So it's a combination, a host of things that come together and then ensure that the whole system works.
Exactly.
So the duty and responsibility of the government, the duty and responsibility of the citizen and the council. If all these things work in tandem, then things will work in the right
Absolutely,
direction.
yes. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ka. We're already out of time here, for reviewing those stories with us. And Mr. Mboy, at this point, we'll release Mr. Ka, to go and attend to one or two things as well. Yes, viewers, this is all we have for you on the newspaper review segment. Now we'll take a short break. After the break, we will talk to Abubakar Jallo on the Tobaski. A few days we'll be saying, welcome Tobaski, Idul Adha. So we'll be right back.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, Qcell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of Qcell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of Qcell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. Qcell. We innovate, others follow.
The future is now. With Qcell's 5G network, experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps with your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into Qcell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with Qcell. Qcell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. Qcell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply. Qcell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. Qcell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. Qcell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Never before In the Gambia, Qcell is giving you an unbeatable offer. Activate our 5G network on your 5G-enabled phone and enjoy free internet for 7 days. Yes, you heard that right. Activate Qcell's 5G on your phone and experience what true 5G internet feels like. Get your Qcell SIM cards activated today at the following care centers: Banjul, Senegambia, Brikama, Bursubi Turntable, Bakau Airport, and Kairaba Avenue headquarters. Rush now and be part of the future with Qcell's 5G. Free internet for 7 days only with Qcell. For more information, call Qcell Customer Care on 111. Qcell Sunyubus. We innovate. Orders follow. Tap.
You're watching QTV this morning. Now we've dealt with the African Code, the newspaper review. Now let's move to the third segment of this program. Tobaski is fast approaching. Te fum neka ni ku neka mungi prepare, you know, pour dalal lolu li nga xamne mo neka gan bu mag bi Tobaski. You know, mota ñu ne tey suñ warugal la ñu invite kooku ki nga xam ne mooy suñ kilifa Aboubacar Diallo pour mu ñëw mu waxtaan ak ñun si ngénneeli Tobaski ak Tobaski bi su ñëwee lan ak lan you know moo war ak lan li nga xam ne tam nit ñi dañ koo yokk rek li nga xam ne jaru ko Aboubacar ñu ngi laa dalal si programme bi.
alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wa sallallahu ala sayyidina muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. mbokk yi gannaaw buñ sante yàlla julli ci yonti yàlla muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam di ziyaara kilifa diine yi kilifa aada yi di ndokkeel mbooleem mbokki jullit ñi yëpp si mbégte mu jublil si nii di Tobaski fa tabarakallah di leen nuyu bu baax a baax a baax Mr Balde fay lañ leen nuyu waaleykum salaam wa rahmatulah
jërëjëf dalal nañ la si jaamam Boubacar dañ bëggoon rek ñu waxtaan tuuti Tobaski lan moo waral Tobaski ba ñëw nit ñi sax ñu bëri xam nañ ko waaye bugga nañ rek nga leeral waaw
alhamdulillah Tobaski sunna la sunna boo xam ne yàlla moo ko waral si sunu kaw yonenti Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam dafa bokk si sunna yi nga xam ne nag am na yonenti yi ko defoon yàlla ñëw wax yonenti bi tamit mu def ko moom ci boppam yonenti yi ko defoon mooy yonenti yàlla Ibrahim alayhi salaam moom dafa amoon kóllëre bu mu fasanteeg sunu borom subhanahu wa taala ne yàlla soo ma mayee lu ëpp benn doom bu góor dinaa rey kenn si ñoom ngir jaamoo la kóllëre boobu la fasanteeg yàlla may ko doom nag bi mu demee ba yaakaar ne dootu amati doom dafa dem ba yaakaar ne moom dootu munati am doom yàlla may ko doom yàlla may ko benn may ko ñaar ko yàlla mayee ñaar na mu sopp leen bu baax buggu leen
ndeysaan ndax
soo tolloo foofu soo amee doom noonu lay mel yàlla nag fàttali ko am na kóllëre biñ fasante woon ne dégg ma man nag defal naa la li nga ñaanoon léegi li ma diggoon it yooyu def ko moom Ibrahima alayhi salaam si biir gént mu yeewu xam ne yónnenti moom su géntee loolu sunu borom moo ko digal dafa mel ni waxyu la bu wàcc si moom mu jóg nag dogu pour def loolu yàlla di wone rek nag Ibrahim pare woon na pour jaamuma waaye dogu woon na tamit pour rendi doomam yàlla fayee ko ab xar bu jógee ca aljanna Jibril andil ko ñu génne xale bi xar boobu ñu rendi ko si place boobu muy ab jaamu yàlla jaamu yàlla la gannaaw bu yonti yàlla ñëwee Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam si gàttal yàlla def ko sunna moom it si kawam ak xeetam tabarakallah lii mooy indi
Tobaski dëgg la kay dañ bëggoon rek nga wax ñu ndaxte Tobaski su moo ñëw da ngaa gis ñu bëri ñu sax seen boppa yoo xam ne sax ñu noo munuñ ko waaye ñu forcé rek di dugga si affaire yi Tobaski bi romba fekk loolu sax jarutoon ko waaw
tabaraka gis nga jaamu yàlla dafa am ñum ko teg yàlla dafa ne ci alquran laa yukallifu llahu nafsan illa wus'aha mu ne ma teguma benn doomu aadama lu mu attanut kon dafa am ñu ko yàlla teg gannaaw jaamu yàlla la rek donc nit ñi dañ war a seet naka lañ koy defee ñan la war ñan ñoo ko war a def gannaaw jaamu yàlla la bu nekkee jaamu yàlla nag ñan la war loolu ñëpp war nañ koo xam ñim war mooy jullit la war jullit boo xam ne ànd na xelam maanaam dofut ak jullit boo xam ne moom it du jaam ñii la war waaye war na it koo xam ne comme muskallaf la ñeneen ñi kumut muskallaf ñeneen ñi yokk si dem koo xam ne am na njëgam ñii la war ku am njëgam ku ko mën a def ñooñu la ko yàlla ñii nag góor la jigéen la mag la walla ndaw képp koo xam ne attan nga ko maanaam am nga xaalis pour jënd tobaski walla am nga tobaski xar boo xam ne mën naa tobaski ñii la tobaski war lii ñii la war képp koo xam ne nag nekkuloo si ñii yow warul la
dëgg la ok loolu am na solo lool Mr Mbodj
bëgg naa laajte lii rek yaa ngi ne ki ko mën a def ki am the resources so maa ngi laaj mun naa leb ma jënd xar
di leb waroo see dugg leb di jënd xar loolu waroo see dugg jamono bu mu la fekk bu dee am nga ko nga dem jënd sa xar nga dem tobaski bu dee nag dugg nga si leb te ki lay lebal yow ak moom mën ngeen a d'accord mu baalal la ba saa ko amee loolu soo ko defee it yow yaa ko waralul sa bopp pour jaamu yàlla soo ko mënee fay may na la time nga fay ko waaye moom warutoon la bi nga ko amutee mënoon nga caa yem rek incha allah
ba pare li nga explain before li tax li am tobaski su ma xalaat loolu lan lañ maa jàngal foofu lan dafa nekk ban lesson moo nekk ci lim ñëwee man as a muslim su ma reflect on li xew noonu pour ma dem forward naka la ma mun a influencer
lesson buñ say jàng buñ ci war a jàng mooy sunu borom subhanahu wa taala su digalee dara su la digalee dara maanaam nit ki su la yàlla digalee dara da nga war a nangu ne lii yàlla moo ma ko digal ba pare nga dogu pour def li la yàlla digal ngir nga topp ko moom sunu borom subhanahu wa taala kon tobaski li ko indi mooy jaamu yàlla moo ko indi ndax xam nañ ne doom num neexee képp ku ko am yàlla digal na le rendil sa doom bi ngir man loolu ku dogu dëgg rek moo ko mën a def kon jullit ñi dañ war a dogu si sunu borom subhanahu wa taala lépp lu ñu yàlla digal ñu def ko ñu ko yàlla digle kon fii topp sunu borom subhanahu wa taala moom la yàlla digle fii nii leneen liñ say jàng mooy jaamu yàlla du ne julli rek ak or wala dem mag am na yeneen jaamu yàlla yu ñu yàlla xiiwalal comme nga jaamoo yàlla si tuur deret nga jaamoo ko sunu borom subhanahu wa taala ndax yàlla ñu ne deret bi ngay tuur dina àgg sunu borom si place boo xam ne balaa mooy laal suuf moom yàlla rek a ko xam yàlla soxlawut yàpp biñ say am yàlla soxlawut leneen liñ say am waaye li si yàlla soxla mooy ragal yàlla biñ koy defee te deret bu ñuy tuur balaa mooy àgg si suuf dana àgg si sunu borom foo xam ne leneen du ko fa àgg kon jaamu yàlla boobu tamit yàlla xiwalal na ko nit ñi ndax soo munee julli mun a oor mun a dem màkka soo amee sa xaalis mun a jënd dara rendi ko ngir sunu borom subhanahu wa taala loolu it beneen fànni jaamu la kon ay lesin sii ni ñoo nekk si biir tabaski te suñ ko yaatalee sax dinañ gis ne ñetti nit ñoo ko séq mooy Ibrahima di baay ji Ismaila di doom ji ak seen yaay ji ak yaayam ñoom ñetti yëpp nangul nañ ku nekk nangul na morom ka Ibrahima nangul na yàlla jabaram nangul na ko waaye doom bi nangul na leen ñoom kon topp nda sa ndigali way jur tamit mu ngi ci biir lesenu tabaski
waaye xaaral ma yokk ci benn rek
waaw
li nga wax noonu dafa diib waaye su ma xoolee su tabaski di ñëw naka la ko nit ñi ne celebrate lu bari dafa material dafa moo festive ñu ngi am fun maa ngi warit su ma amul xar lan la néeba si di wax dinaa def lu nekk pour am xar o nga jënd yére bu ees o man dafa mel ni ki lu material la nit ñi dee gën a xalaat dal li nga doon wax ni li nga xam ne dafa profound dama ko war a xalaat naka nga gisee celebration gi ni mel naka la war a mel ndax man may overreact
comme si wàllu celebration lu nekk dafa war a nekk within the context of the religion nit ki lépp looy def surtout bu dee jaamu yàlla la dafa war a nekk sa diggante ak yàlla ni ko yàlla digalee nga defee ko noonu am na noo ko yenoo mun naa dem ba génnee la ci jaamu yàlla mun naa tax sax yool bi nga waroon a am doo ko am comme ni nga ko waxee léegi nit ñi dañooy warlu seen bopp si mbiri xar te xar bi lu koy tax sa yow yàlla nekkatu si daanaka ndax da ngay ne damay jëndal suma jabar tobaski soo jëndalee sa jabar tobaski yow léegi lan ngay tobaski xam nga yow tobaski wuloo kon léegi sa jabar moo tobaski ba pare bu dee nga ne suma amut yére duma dem sa julli yi te julli bi beneen yére boo xam ne yére bu baax la bu set mënoon na koo def xam nga yow kon yool bu fa nit ñi daan wuti yow léegi ñàkk nga yool boobu noonu loolu yëpp si topp ñun si sunuy bànneexu bakkan moo ñu dee yóbbul lii dem ba fàtte ne lii jaamu yàlla la nga dem si leneen loo xam ne taxut mu jóg su boobaa yow yool bu si nit war a am yow doo ko am kon war nañoo delloo si sunu xel ne lii jaamu yàlla la te dafa am lu si yàlla di séentu si ñun ñu defee ko ni ko yàlla diglee ndax ñu mën a am yool ba loolu moo ci ëpp solo
dëgg la am na solo léegi nañ waxtaan balaa ñoo ñëw si xutba gi bugga naa ñu waxtaan suñ julee ba pare la ñoo xutba waaye dafa mel ni ñu bëri tam duñ xaar xutba gi loolu tam buggoon na ñu leeral si dañ war a xaar xutba gi bem jee imam rendi o xutba bi moom loolu su la neexee nga xaar su la neexee bul xaar
julli bi si sunna bés bi la bokk sahaba yi dañ ne yonent bi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ñëw na mu jiite leen ñaari rakka julli yoo xam ne amuñ iqaam amuñ azan maanaam noddu amu ci taxawal julli amu ci gannaaw ñaari rakk yi yonent bi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam jóg mu waare leen ba pare mu digal leen ci biir ñaari xutba yooyu noonu war na sunna la si yow nga fekkee ñaari rakka yi sunna la si yooyu tamit nga toog déglu xutba bu ñooy def gannaaw ñaari rakka yi kon ñaari rakka yi xutba bi nit ñi dañ war a toog ñu déglu ko ba xutba bi jeex loolu lañ ci gën a sopp waaw
so léegi mu ngi mel ni imam su rendiwut nga dem nga rendi yow ñu ne yàppa nga am waaye amuloo tubaski waaye in fact fooguloo ne léegi génération bi ñun yàppa lañ dégg naa séntu dan tubaski
waaw lii yëpp nuñ koy defee la lii yëpp dafa am nuñ koy defee lu téere yi niñ ko tëralee noonu la ko nit ñi war a toppee suñ demee julli ba pare suñ ñibsee imam moo waral rendi su imam rendee ba pare ku nekk dem këram nga rendi ku nekk rendi bu dee da nga sori comme yow fi nga dëkk ak fu imam nekk dafa sori doo mun a dem si imam dem sa kër mun ngaa dem ba ca kër waaye nga xaarandi ba xam ne bem dal sa xel ne yow léegi imam war naa rendi su boobaa yow nga
dem rendi
waaw kon loolu tëralin la boo xam ne noonu la war a tëddee te noonu la ko nit ñi war a def kenn war ta njëkk a rendi
imam
waaw benn rek am xutba gi ndig bii dafa special lu tax waaw nga xam ne dama am pour toog déglu
waaw xutba bi xutba boo gis ay ayat alquran la ñuy dajale ak ay sunna pour waar si nit ñi waare si nit ñi te waare boobu noonu dafa am lu bari lu may def si nit ndax nit du deñ di fàtte moo tax waruñoo deñ di fàttali nit gannaaw julli bii nii ñi fay tase mbooloo buy gën a bari la lu ci gën a bari mbooloo bu tool noonu du daje si ajjuma mbooloo bu tool noonu du daje si yeneen mbooloo kon ñu ne mbooloo bi na imaam tamit mu jël di opportunité jublu si jullit ñi mu waare leen ba pare fàttali leen ndax julli bi sopp nañ ñu defee ko si gannaaw dëkk bi wala ñu seet béréb boo xam ne boobu la ñuy yaatal ñu defee ko fa buñ ko defee si biir jumaa bi nañ génn sa fu ñu aadawoo di jullee ñu dem defee ko si béréb bii ni ndax bugg nañ góor ñi yëpp génn jigéen ñi yëpp génn mag ak ndaw
dëgg la
jigéen ñuy gis mbaax sax sopp nañ ñu dem teew
génn waaw
ñu dem teew ndax yërmande yu fay wàcc
ñu fekkee
kon gannaaw mbooloo mi yëpp tase na léegi nag dina kon jar imam bi taxaw si kanam nit ñi mu won leen de nu jamono ji di doxee de lii ak lii ak lii lañ war a defar lii ak lii lañ war a yokk lii mooy defar penc mi lii moo ko nekk di yàq
dëgg la
fàttali si nit ñi
dëgg la
fàttali nit ñi tamit seen diggante ak seen i borom
waaw
nañ yokk ragal yàlla bi nañ jullee nii nañ defee nii nañ jëflantee nii loolu always opportunity la pour
dëgg la balaa ñoo ànd ak vidéo bu ñu war a play dama bëggoon nga leeral li because maag suma maam mus nañu xëccoo bu tànga ñu jógee juli iid
waaw
mu ne ma ne jaaral ñu jaar beneen yoon ma ne ko maam maa lank maa bañ dew ma fen nii lay jaaree fële dafa sori waaye loolu xanaa loolu tam mooy lan nga ñëwee nii soo ñëw yoon bi nga jaar sooy dem nga jaaraat beneen yoon boobu lan la
waaw
boobu ban style la
dafa bokk si yuñ sopp si bés bi dafa am ay mbir yoo xam ne dañ ko sopp si bés bi ñu def ko bi si njëkk mooy nga sangu ba set sor sa yére yu baax nga xeeñoo liskolam loolu na nga ko def luñ sopp la sopp nañ tamit sooy dem si jullikaay bi nga jaaree yoon benn yoon sooy ñib si nga jaaree beneen yoon yooyu nag wax nañ ne am na ay hikma yu si nekk am na ay lessons yu si nekk comme jamono yonent bi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam jullit ñi buñ leen di digal nañ commencé julli yii nii mooy at bi nga xamante ne yonent bi jógee na Makka dem Medina at bu njëkk buñ am si biir Medina si lañ waral julli iid si kaw jullit ñi booba mbooloo jullit bi bariwut noonu so léegi yonent bi digal leen ne nañ jaar yoon bi su ñuy ñëw ñu jaar beneen
ñu jaar na li
ndax dinañ yéem ñi ñu yéem ñale ñii suñ gisee ñii ñu ne gis nañ mbooloo bu jaar fii di dem si jumaa
waaw
ñali tamit gis mbooloo jóge fa ñu ni de gis nañ beneen mbooloo buñ jógee si jumaa bi néew ni kon ñi bari nañ léegi
sunna la
waaw
sunna la
loolu suñ
waaw loolu moo nekkoon di idea paa bi mu ne ma ne suma maam la mu ne ma ne ñu jaar na le ma ne ko maam fale dafa sori de man dama soona jaaral noonu man ma jaaree nii waaw léegi ñu waxtaan yan xar mooy tobaski
fa tabarakallah tobaski yi ñooy rendi mooy yii mooy xar béy nag ak gëlëm yi ñooy al an'am ñii la ñooy rendi
ok
waaye yu si nekk it dafa am ñu si sopp bu dee xar la xar bi war naa am si téere imam Malik xar bi war naa am juróom ñetti weer wala lu ko raw wala benn at dem ci kaw bu dee béy la ñu ne su amee juróom benn weer mën na tobaski xar yi tamit yu góor yi yooyu lañ gën a sopp yu góor yi nga xam ne comme tàppuñ leen yooyu lañ gën a sopp pour ñu tobaski ko góor xar bu góor boo xam ne tàppuñ ko
ok
boobu lañ gën a soxla waaw boobu it dafa am yenn yuñ say moytu mooy fekk béjjén bi dammut muy indi sotti deret bu dee béjjén bi dafa dammut di sotti deret boobu du doy bu dee geen gi tamit dafa dog tri côté geen bi wala geen bi mu dog ba génn boobu it du doy bu dee xar moo xam ne dafa màgget ba boñ yëpp daanu boobu it du doy.
du doy waaw.
bu dee boo xam ne la nopp bi tamit dafa dog. boobu it du doy. bu dee boo xam ne la dafa gumbo. du gis. wala lu mooy gis lu tuuti la. boobu tamit du doy.
dëgg la.
bu dee buy sooxla it ba soox bi di feeñ.
waaw
boobu tamit
du dem Boubacar time bi jeex na. waaye kontaan nañ trop time bi gàtt na de waaye am na leeral yu am solo yuñ fi def. lu am solo la kontaan nañ trop si sa ñëw bi. saa su ne suñ la ooyee. nga ñëw nga uyuñu. te viewers yi tam dañ dee kontaan trop su nekkee ne yaa ngi leeral si programme bi. dañ ko dee kontaan trop. soo jërëjëf si sa ñëw bi. kontaan nañ ñu ngi laa ñaanal yàlla mu guddal sa fan may la wér gu yaram.
amiin yaa rabbal
waaw loolu ñu ngi la ko ñaanal Boubacar because dafa important ñu am ñi nga xam ne ñooñu tam dañoo nekk fii di leeral. because génération bi dafa soxla ñuy leeral. waaw
alhamdulilah. loolu lu am solo la. diine dafa war a leer.
dëgg la
ndax képp ku koy jëf. waroo koo jëf si foog naa.
dëgg la.
nii la mel. noonu laa koy defee.
dëgg la.
waaye duñ ko wéer si.
dëgg la jërëjëf thank you. Now we'll show you a video. Baboucarr Ceesay, a QTV journalist, is currently in Mecca to perform the Hajj, and he went with the Tiwawun Travel and Tour, team. So we'll take a look at that video.
Thanks for having me on the morning show. Just an update about what has happened and what is about to happen. What has happened is that the last flight that left the Gambia has actually arrived in Medina, and also they've left Medina on Tuesday to join the rest of the Gambian team's pilgrims in Mecca, because we are all in Mecca right now. So what's happening is, what has happened is that all the pilgrims that arrive in Mecca would just book into their hotels, and the next thing is to go to the Masjid al-Haram to perform the Umrah. Like everybody's wearing the white clothes, then you have to go to the Haram to perform the Umrah, that is running around the Kaaba 7 times. And then from there, they go to Safa and Marwa and also run between the 2 hills 7 times. And when the Safa and Marwa ends, that's the end of the Umrah. So all pilgrims would come back to their hotels and shave their hair, and then remove their white gowns they are wearing. The ihram is called, and then everybody will have a shower, and then that's the end of the Umrah. So right now, basically what's happening is, after the long journey from Medina to Mecca, which is between 8 and 12 hours, and then people were tired, and after the tawaf again around the Kaaba, Safa and Marwa. So this, I would call it cooling period. People are now relaxing, preparing for the big event, which is, the beginning of Hajj, which will be on the 14th, on Saturday. So probably normally people leave a night before to go and spend the night at Mina. So everybody is waiting for that, because it's a hectic activity. So obviously people are relaxing now so that they can build up more energy to prepare for Mina, from Mina to Arafat to Muzdalifah, and the walk from Muzdalifah, all the way to the walk from Muzdalifah all the way, to Makkah, which is long distance. Some said it's 8 kilometers, some say it's 10 kilometers. So basically that's what we are preparing for now. But basically right now we are all in Makkah and then waiting for that.
Thank you very much, Baboucarr Ceesay, currently in Mecca. Giving us that update there. According to Baboucarr, the last flight just landed on Tuesday, and they expected to start performing, some of the things. The walk from Muzdalifah, the Arafah, and also going around the Kaaba. And we pray, may Allah accept all their prayers and worship. Now let's move to the sports world. For a long time we didn't have Momodou Gajaga on the platform. Gajaga, we miss you.
Yeah, it's been a while, and always a pleasure to come back here and talk about
Yes.
my favorite thing, that's sports.
But in a short, you were in England for 2 weeks. You would like to share that with us. You know, how was your trip?
It was wonderful. I enjoyed every bit of it. I was in England purposely to attend the Oxford Africa Conference, being organized by students at Oxford University, the African students there, of course.
Oh, nice.
The president, Aissatou Bokoum, invited me. She was one time an intern at QTV, and you know, Aissatou has definitely progressed very well, you know, from South Africa, got a scholarship, and then now studying at Oxford University, being one of the leading persons as far as the Students' Union is concerned, the Oxford Africa Society. So many big people came there in the conference, one of them Raila Odinga, former Kenya Prime Minister, and you know, some renowned people in the business world and as well as in the technology world as well. Yeah, share ideas, talk about governance in Africa, transformative agenda of Africa moving forward, and yeah, so many things.
Very significant gathering, you know.
So you lived in Oxford?
Yeah, so I spent 2 days in Oxford.
Nice.
I used to live there in the late 80s.
It is, yeah.
Nice. And now let's move on to the sports world. We have Mamadou Gajaga and Amadou Tamba, you know. But first, Gajaga, to you.
Yes, big night of football. Gambia, Gabon, familiar opponents in terms of football. We played recently. This would be the third time, but overall at senior level, the fourth time in recent years. It was a very competitive game. First half, Gambia scored through Yankuba Minte, 33rd minute, and you know, because of the performance of the first half, going into the second half, one would think that Gambia would continue the momentum, but all of a sudden there was a power outage at the stadium. The game resumed later, and Gambia completely lost momentum. Gabon led, came back and led again twice. At some point, in fact, it was 3-1. Then Gambia reduced the deficit 3-2. The match ended. So Gabon ended up winning. So that put them just a point behind group leaders, Cote d'Ivoire, who are on 10 points. Gabon have now 9 points out of 4 matches that they've played in the qualifiers. Gambia on 3, and almost rock bottom, just above Seychelles in the group right now. Because yesterday, Burundi also won against Seychelles, and Kenya drew against Cote d'Ivoire 0-0 full time. So that's the game. Lots of talking points about it. But first, I think we engage Amadou.
What a dramatic turn yesterday.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much, and good morning. It's good to be back here as well to talk about sports, particularly football. Just as Gajaga said, I think it was a well-contested game yesterday between Gambia and Gabon. Both nations wanted to go all out and win because Gambia knew that a win against Gabon will take us to second in the table standings, just behind Ivory Coast. And then Gabon will want to consolidate their second spot as well, knowing that a win against the Gambia will also move them to within a point behind Ivory Coast. So that made the game very, very tense. But Gambia first had our noses in front. Yankuba Minte scoring a very good goal from a header. And it's his second goal under the new coach. And of course, the provider, Omar Gueye, also providing his second assist under the new coach, 2 assists in 2 games. But I think the turning point of this game was when the power went off, when there was no power at the stadium, and the game has to stop for some minute. Whether they did it deliberately or not, we don't know. But I think that played a part in this game, because immediately power came back. Gabon scored 3. Before the Gambia could pull one back and going in search of the other goal to make it 3-all. But I think it was really a very well contested game.
That's it. Somebody said to me that, I mean, that power cut was really a ploy, perhaps to break the momentum. But I don't know, I simply couldn't be that cynical. That's a bit too cynical, I thought. So do you reckon it was really that material, that significant?
Yes, we wouldn't know exactly what happened, but similar things happen in African football. Not exactly the power outage, but you see home advantage is either maybe a momentum, a particular visiting team has a momentum, maybe a fan try to invade the pitch, or maybe there's a breakage in play, some kind of a stoppages in a way to break the momentum. Kind of unfair advantage for the team that is to do the comeback, like in this case Gabon. But it happens a lot in African football, so sometimes things happen. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a defeat for the Gambia, regroup again, and then start competing. Yes, because there seems to be a new project in the team under the new coach, that is Jonathan McKinstry. From the first match, we've also how his style is, his approach to the game, his philosophy, what he wants to build in the Gambia. He already said it's going to take time. Well, obviously, you just came newly in the team. You're meeting some of these players for the first time.
True.
Yeah, against Seychelles, obviously, they are low opposition.
Let's not forget. I mean, you know, the performance of the team is commendable. I mean, when you look at Gambia previously and now, you know, from the two matches that we play under this coach, it's totally a different ball game. I mean, you know, seeing the result 3-2, to me, it's not bad. It's still, there is still hope. At some point, it would have been 3-1.
Yeah.
Nobody, I mean, we've been living those things.
Exactly. Room for improvement. I know we're running out of time, but just before we continue,
we have time.
Yes, let's listen to the coach. Post-match press conference, he reacted to the results, talked about some of the things where they got it wrong, and how he think the game could have been managed at some point. Let's listen to Jonathan McKinstry.
Yes, first of all, we were very pleased with how our players approached the game. I thought we attacked, we played well. The disappointment probably comes from not converting our chances. You know, I think very rarely do teams come away in Africa and create more chances in the game than the home team. I think in the first half we created 4 very good chances, Gabon won. In the second half, Gabon did a little bit better, but if we score our chances, the game is finished. So, yeah, proud of the way the players played, but disappointed that we couldn't kill the game off in key moments. I think, ultimately, we just have putting the ball in the back of the net, as simple as that sounds, because during the first half and early in the second half, we created some very good chances. And you've got to remember that if you looked at the Gambia team of the last 2-3 years, even the last time the Gambia came here, they played quite a defensive, counter-attacking style. I've been with the team now 6 days, you know, this international window, and we have asked the team to be more offensive, more attacking, to be more courageous, and I think we saw that today. It would be very easy to come here to Franceville and sit and defend and be in a low block, but for pretty much 70-80% of the game, the players were more aggressive, more brave, more courageous, and we're very pleased with that. We just have to make sure we take our chances when we create them. Offside goals, we might as well count handball goals and play rugby. You know, offside goals are offside goals, so there's no point really talking about them. Look, for us, it's just taking each game at a time. There's no point looking at the bigger picture. You know, we're aware of the Kenya and Ivory Coast game, but for us, we're on a journey of building a new team, of having a new mindset, and for us, we're very pleased with the performance today. We need to tidy up in a few areas, offensively and defensively, but if we play like we did today, in most games, we'll come out with 3 points more often. So we're pleased with the performance. We lost the game tonight because Gabon were very clinical in key moments. That's the reason we lost the game. Obviously at the end, the referees decided that the handball in the box does not warrant a penalty. That's his decision. He admits it is a handball, but he says it's not worth a penalty. So I wonder if it had been at the other end of the field with 20,000 people screaming for it, what would have happened? So, but this is football. We have to be better than those individual moments. And like I said, we're pleased. The players pushed hard. Gabonese players pushed hard. I thought it was a good game of football from both teams.
Yes, that's Coach Johnson McKinstry there, his reaction, sounding very positive.
True.
Having a philosophy, wants to bring in a new style of play into the team that's attacking football. But it also comes at a price. Yesterday we saw, when we go up front, you see beautiful football, beautiful possession, created lots of chances, like he said. The first half alone, Gambia could have been maybe 4-1 up if we had taken our chances. In fact, one of the chances fell to the team captain, Omar Colley. That was like a sitter. All you needed to do, just keep composure, tap the ball. But he decided to go with power. The ball went off target. There was an opportunity for a header, a free header as well, that also went wide. So lots of chances. But as football, sometimes, yeah, you
You
get
know,
chances.
the relief that I am feeling now, like, you know, and the confidence that I have, you know, for this team now, this selection, I haven't had this for a long time. I mean, I don't know.
So there's this argument of defending deep, going on the counter attack, like under the former coach Tom Sanfield, brings you results. Would you choose that over attacking football, exposing your defense, and concede a lot of goals? So imagine, let's say, okay, you play against Cote d'Ivoire, you say, we're equal opponents, let's attack them, but you expose your defense, you score 3 goals and Cote d'Ivoire score 6. 6-3, would you take that or defend deep? You know, try to get them on the counter. When you hit them, maybe score 1-0 and then full-time game over, Gambia 1, Cote d'Ivoire 0. So there's this argument.
Well, I think coaches are different and their game approaches are different. To me, even when Tom was here and Gambians were complaining that he defends a lot, he needs to attack and attack, I was like, I am somebody who has totally not gone against what he implemented, because he knew the kind of players that he had, and he knew what he needed to do to make sure he get the results. And he has been defending and getting goals. Whenever he hits any team on the counter, he makes sure he scores goals and qualified us to the African Cup of Nations. He did the same, and we were able to qualify to the AFCON again. And that was the same system that he deployed in the AFCON. We were able to go to the quarterfinals. Had it been he changed and played the flamboyant football without getting wins in those games, what would Gambians say? And at times coaches will sit and balance this. Should I go on and play good football and entertain the fans? At the end of the day, what will be the result? And when it comes to coaching, you are judged by the results. And once you don't get the results, it's a problem. So that's why I said coaches have different approaches to games. There are certain games that you will definitely know that, yes, for this team, I am not going to sit back. Because when it comes to quality that they have, and when it comes to the defensive players that they have, I believe if I attack, I will get something. So it's not even a second thought for you to sit back and wait for them. But in bigger games, you definitely have to sit. We've seen bigger teams sitting against bigger teams in the world, because of recent, before Real Madrid won the Champions League, there are certain games that they sat back. Nobody knew Real of doing that.
Especially against Man City.
Yes, but they sat back and allow their opponents to come. When they hit on the counter, they will get something. With McKinstry, he's a different coach to Tom. He's totally a different coach. He's a coach who wants to attack. And when I heard him here, he said he wants his holding player to even play like Andre Pirlo. So if a coach tells you that, you will know that he's an absolute offensive coach. And he has done something in this game against Gabon that we did not see in the game against Seychelles. In Seychelles, he played Yusuf Bob and Alassane Amane and played Moussa Barrow ahead of them. And in this game against Gabon, despite Gabon being a bigger team in terms of resources, in terms of pedigree, in terms of world ranking, ahead of Seychelles, but he took the bold decision to withdraw Bob and played Alassane Amane as a holding player. And he had so many attacking players. That tells you from the onset that he's a coach who wants to attack. And he attacked. He had chances in the first half. If we had taken chances in the first half, Gabon would have been done.
So what is the difference between attacking and defending?
Well,
they said Tom is a defender. This guy is an attacker. What is the difference?
Well, the difference most of the time is so many fans will want to see teams attacking and playing the beautiful football, the tiki-taka. Tom even questioned Gambian fans on that. He said, look, what do you want? Do you want to play like Barcelona and end up losing games?
Yes.
Or do you want to play bad and win games?
Good games.
For a coach, it doesn't matter how you win. You just need to win. But some coaches will say, well, even if you win, you have to play good football. But in modern day football right now, you definitely consider results first. So coming down to your question of what is the difference between attacking and defending. Well, in defending, you have to play careful not to concede a goal. And once you have the ball, you try to score. So if you are very much resolute and compact at the back, once you score one, you have a high tendency of winning games. Once you open up to attack and attack, yes, you might score goals, but you might also be caught unaware at the back, because the spaces that you leave behind, your opponents might counter on that. Looking at the way Gambia played yesterday, I think, yes, we created so many chances, but also defensively, we could have done better, because we were unable to see the first goal for Gabon because due to that power outage. But the second goal, it was from a corner. I think we could have done better. The centre-back, Idrissa, should have headed the ball away. Though Omar Koli and the Gabonese player went up, I don't know what he was doing at that point, but he should have set his eyes on the ball and cleared that ball straight away. But he just wanted to flick the ball behind. When he flicked it, Ibu Adams was turning, and the ball ended up hitting Ibu Adams and fell into Aubameyang inside the area. It was just 3-4 yards, and Aubameyang had to slip that one in. The second one was an offside. To me, I think when the ball was floated to Aubameyang, he was in an offside position. So he was running with Gay, who was coming too close. Cisse was raising his hand looking for an offside. You're told as a defender, even if it's an offside, you have to raise your hand and keep running because you're playing for the whistle. Once you don't hear the whistle, you have to keep following the ball. So he was also narrowing the angle, forgetting that there's a player coming from the blind side. If he had gone with speed, he has the height. When the ball was floated to the far post, I think he could have been there to make sure he flicked the ball behind for a corner or chested it down to the goalkeeper.
It's very interesting.
He was absolutely, he took his time off and reduced his speed that allowed the Gabonese to, of course, get to the end of that ball and put it in the back of the net. And from that point, we also had the spirit that, look, we can do it. The coach mentioned something very important. We have to be bold enough. We have to be aggressive, and we need to have the confidence to make sure we go for it. And the team went for it. Ibu Adams scored. We had a very blatant penalty. You heard from him. The referee said it was a handball.
Handball, yeah. Sorry.
but not a penalty.
Okay,
so
handball.
Me, that was in the handball. Does not worth penalty. To me, that was
penalty,
absolutely
yes.
handball. If
Yeah.
Gabon had that one,
that
when
was
we were
the
leading 3-2, he would have given it.
Yankuba Minte situation. So Amadou, this brings me back to our defense. Oftentimes, Gambia's defense is exposed in matches. Let's say from the Africa Cup of Nations, we lost 3-0 against Senegal. We lost to Guinea by 1-0. We lost to Cameroon 3-2. So looking at all the goals that we concede, almost in similar situations, either from a corner kick or a ball that is being crossed, and our defenders failed to deal with it. Yesterday, like Amadou mentioned, we didn't see the Gabon first goal, that's the equalizer, but the second and the third goal, somehow defensively Gambia could have done better. Of course, it's defensive mistake, or when the team opens up a little bit, that's the time you concede goals. In football, in fact, the opposition have to make mistakes for you to capitalize on those mistakes. But we've conceded a lot of goals in our recent matches, lots of goals. So defensively, the team has to improve. I think the coach definitely needs to look at that, how he is able to make the defense a little bit compact, because we concede a lot of goals.
A lot of goals.
Offensively, things are going well. We are scoring goals. We're opening up, playing some beautiful football. But defensively, the team needs a lot of improvement.
Yeah, I think after every game, they will review. They will review this game against Gabon, where we get it wrong and where we got it right. And I think in football, it's always like this. Does teams work very hard to score us? Or do they get it very easy in getting the ball into the back of the net? And once they look at the game against Gabon, I think they will find it that it was very easy for Gabon to score against us. So how are we going to stop that? And I think that will be a very important point for the coaches to look at. But I also think looking at the goals that we considered against Gabon also, he talked about defensive exposure. I think there is also inexperience. Idrissa is a very good defender, but I think this is his second cap with the national team. Omar Gueye, he's a very, very good defender. So the coaches will look at that, and I think there are so many players out there. Some of them were injured, not part of this team. So I think players will be looked at as to who will come in and make sure we arrest the situation as soon as possible. But collectively, I think the performance was really very good. The team really played very well. It's just a matter of taking our chances and being very much compact at the back.
So Gajaga, what is our fate now?
Our fate is to be real. The Gambia's chances of qualifying in this group to the World Cup are almost next to zero.
Wow.
The reason is we currently have 3 points out of 4 matches. The team that is leading, Cote d'Ivoire, have 10 points after 4 matches. Gabon, second, 9 points. And then you have Kenya, then you have Burundi. In that order, Gambia, and then rock bottom is Seychelles, who are like the team that you can walk over in the group. So we played 4 matches, 6 more matches to go. We will still go to Cote d'Ivoire. Kenya would come here, and then we would go to Kenya, as well as Gabon, the return leg. So if you accumulate all those points together, I don't think it will be enough to finish as group leaders. Because no matter what happens, either Ivory Coast or Gabon would still win, you know, at least 1 or 2 matches. So for me, it's trying to put up a respectable performance in the group, boost your ranking by finishing good, and you know, at least getting some points in certain matches, maybe against Kenya, maybe against Seychelles in the other game as well, maybe in the return leg against Gabon as well.
Why in sport journalism? Don't work swing stadium when you play.
In fact, that was going to be the next discussion.
It's very important.
The stadium.
Home support is important, man.
Home support, home advantage, you call it. The 12th person for the team. You know, imagine Gambia playing at the Independence Stadium, full house, you know, lots of supporters supporting from minute 1. The fire that it gives to the team, the players, they would want to go extra hard. They would want to die for the team because of the fans and the support in the stadium. That atmosphere it creates.
And we can switch off the lights sometimes.
Yes, of course, definitely. This is not. But unfortunately, Gambia plays their matches during the day.
It's the other way.
Unfortunately, we play our matches during the day, so you wouldn't need to switch off the lights when you play 4:30, you know, 4 p.m.
Already so is good and the lights are good.
Exactly.
You know, you have an advantage when you play in a host country.
Yes.
I remember when Senegal was playing against Egypt. You remember when they were using their lights?
Yeah, the laser lights.
On Salah and other people. So there is always an advantage.
Exactly.
You know, so later in the day, Qcell will be signing, you know, a sponsor deal, main sponsor for the Euro 2024 in Germany with Grts. So the signing and ceremony will take place today, you know, at Grts main building. So it's the Euro 2024 again, you know, very interesting. What can you people tell us about this?
Yeah, the European Championship, now Euro 2024, Germany.
What are the favorites? Are there any favorites?
Well,
some favorites.
favorites? Yeah, I think for me, the favorites, I will still consider World Cup finalist France as one of the favorites. Well, the 3 Lions, they always say he's coming home, but it never comes home. Not in recent years, since 1966. That was the last time England won a major trophy.
That was the World Cup.
And that was the World Cup. Yeah.
Never
Since that time.
Yeah, 1966. So the last time they went to the finals is against Italy and lost. Still, they played better. They had more chances, but eventually it eludes them. So Germany, the host, seems to have transitioned a little bit. They find it very difficult in recent years in competitions. In fact, Germany, can you imagine the World Cup, you know, getting out of the group in the first round? You can't imagine something like that happening. So a team like Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo up front, despite his age, he's scoring a lot of goals in the Saudi Pro League, and even yesterday when they had that friendly, he scored twice. So Portugal is also another team, and if you look at overall, I think it's going to be a very competitive European Championship in Germany.
So you have potentially 4 or 5 who can potentially win it.
Yes. But for me, I always love it in this competition when winners cause upsets. So I'll be rooting for the winners. These big games that you have, England or France or Germany, or Portugal playing against the smaller nations, I will go in for the smaller nations to cause an upset. It's always lovely.
Okay, so
To
which
cause
one?
a
Which one would
commotion.
you go? Which
Well,
one is small?
Well, we're seeing Germany playing the opening game against Scotland.
Scotland,
Yeah,
yeah.
I will go in for Scotland
You'll be
to cause an
rooting for
upset.
All right. So, any other thing before we say bye?
Yes, I think.
Next match,
Time is
actually.
against.
Yeah,
next
next match
match
is in September, is it?
Yeah.
September. Against Kenya, is it?
Yeah,
Against Kenya or
next-
Burundi? Is it?
Is it Kenya or Burundi?
One of
again?
them,
Yeah, I'll have
alright.
to
One of the
check the
teams.
fixtures again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. For
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, we are playing Kenya
Yes.
We're playing Kenya
in
next.
March
And, you know,
2025.
Yeah. 2025.
for giving us this update. Mr. Mboj, this is all we have for today. Until tomorrow, inshallah.
Yes.
Yes.
Ta-ta.
Bye-bye.